I'm going to go ahead and assume you're all familiar with my Poseidon Tracklocross bike. This one. This thing. This is easily the one bike that I have out of everything that gets featured on this channel that I don't constantly think about all of the things that I want to change on it. I look at it, I think about it, and I'm like, that's exactly where I want that to be. Except for one tiny, small, minute, kind of consequential little detail that has bothered me since I made the decision to do what I did with the initial build. Try and guess what that is in the comments below. I'll give you like a second. Okay, all right, I'm going to tell you now. For any of you who guessed using Sharpie to put spin dat on the top of the fork crown and the head tube, you are wrong, and that's very hurtful, but you are in the right ballpark. If it isn't obvious, I'm pointing at the headset cups. If you will recall back to the original video where we put together the Tracklocross frame set, you will remember that I decided to omit the Poseidon provided aluminum leg steel steer tube fork in favor of an in-stock, in the shop, carbon fork with aluminum steer tube from a Schwinn sponsored bike from years ago. But also included in the frame set is a loose ball headset from Poseidon, which is nice for assembly because you can put everything together right out of the box. And honestly, there is nothing wrong with the included headset whatsoever, except for me being a vain person and having a real problem with the fork crown being bigger than what the cup actually is. This has always bothered me. I thought I would eventually get over it. I never have. And now, because it's Monday for the upload of Tinker Tuesday, we can actually swap this headset out for one that I think is going to be about the same diameter, make up the difference, and offer us a sealed bearing. So we are indeed making an upgrade here, albeit one that is completely unnecessary and fully out of vanity. Oh, this is a weird headset. Now, this process that I'm about to go through is not one that I'm particularly proud of, nor do I really want to show it, but not owning the proper tool for taking off a crown race, obviously it becomes fairly intuitive that you can do this with a flathead screwdriver and a little bit of care. I think the most important part here is keeping in mind that care matters. So just slowly work around the edge here, trying to get this wedged in without marring everything up, and slowly work its way off from where it's pressed onto. But we're all adults here. We all know that we do things we're not supposed to from time to time, and when you're gonna do that, just be careful. And when it does break, keep in mind, you have no one to blame but yourself. And if you can accept that, yeah, take the risk. This being a steel crown race, this was slightly more stubborn to get off of this fork than maybe other ones are. So what I ended up having to do was take a blade from an Olfa knife and actually hammer it like I would with a flathead screwdriver in between the crown race and the fork, and then just work it around without trying to hit the steer tube as much as possible. And that kind of got the crown race up just far enough to get this smaller flathead screwdriver, and then finish it off with this guy here. It's not my proudest moment on this channel, but not my least proud, and definitely not the first or last time that I will install a headset crown race like that. Now thankfully for this part, I actually do have the correct tool. Okay. All right. Let's go determine the level of success based on the final product. So I personally am very satisfied with the final product here and the diameter increase of this headset cup in relation to the fork crown race. I think it kind of takes up a lot more of the space than the stock provided headset cups did, though maybe not to the level that I was quite hoping for. Tolerable enough, happy with the switch, necessary. Now it also has this other like vain benefit that I've actually been like weirdly against my normal thought loving. When you go back far enough in this channel, this will be a complete hypocrisy in well, everything I say, but we can all change. It's inevitable. And that is how kind of much I like love how busy all these like logos and things I have like written here, and you know, little logos like everywhere, and then the big gaudy kind of obnoxious Spindat sticker on the handlebars. All that busyness up front, and then just like nothing in the rear. Where if you look at some of the videos that I was working at the shop, I was actually like taking a Sharpie to like color out brand names on stuff. Kind of weird. So, success? Yeah, I think so. It definitely looks more like I want it to. The headset itself was an upgrade that did not need to be done, but is done anyway. I fixed the cable rub, like where the paint had worn off from when that fork was on the Schwinn with a Sharpie. That was kind of a win. I also washed it. That is not something that has ever happened to this bike before, but it like oddly looks like really good. That's part of the thing that I love about this bike is it never needs to be washed because there's no like moving parts on it, but like it deserves to be. It looks good, all cleaned up. Okay, that's it. That's the end of this Tinker Tuesday. I've also got something very, very cool to show you that I've teased on Instagram. That's probably going to be tomorrow.